Hello, everyone. Welcome to English Learning Key. I'm Anna.
And I'm David. Thank you for being here with us.
Today, we're going to dive into something simple yet powerful, reading books to learn English. It may feel a little classic, but it works in ways that surprise many learners.
We'll talk about why reading matters, how to pick the right books, practical tips to make it effective, and what to do after reading to really lock in what you've learned.
So take a comfortable seat, grab a notebook if you like, and let's jump in.
Let's start with the big question. Why should an English learner read books? What's the point?
Here's the thing. When you read, you expose yourself to language in context, not isolated rules or dry sentences. You see words, grammar, expressions, and tone all working together.
Imagine watching someone cooking. You don't just see the ingredients, you see how they mix, when they heat, how they taste at the end. Reading is like that for language.
You see vocabulary in its natural habitat. You see how native speakers express emotion, make transitions, build tension, describe scenes. Not with perfect but stiff textbook sentences, but with real voice.
Over time, your brain starts to internalize patterns. You don't need to consciously think, this is how I use a past perfect. You just sense it.
Reading gives you repetition in a way that doesn't feel like repetition. You meet familiar words in new settings. You see subtle differences in how they're used. That's how your intuition about English improves.
Vocabulary is often the biggest hurdle. Learners try to memorize long word lists, but there's a better way.
We believe that words learned from context stick better. When you see a word in several sentences across different settings, you build a multidimensional memory of it.
Let me give you an example. Suppose you learn the word reluctant by itself. You might remember the meaning hesitant or unwilling.
But then you see it in a sentence. She was reluctant to sign the contract, even though she knew it was the best choice. Suddenly you see why she's reluctant. Feel the hesitation, see the context.
Then, two chapters later, you see, reluctant as he was, he stood in the doorway. Now you see reluctant used in a slightly different structure. The meaning grows.
You don't need to look up every unknown word. A good rule, if you can guess the meaning from context, keep reading. Later, if the word keeps appearing, then look it up.
Also, phrase chunks are gold. Instead of single words, notice collocations, phrases, idiomatic structures like make up one's mind, in the nick of time, take for granted. These chunks help your speech and writing flow.
Grammar is often taught as a set of rules to memorize, but reading gives you grammar in action.
Every sentence you read is an example of grammar being used. You see how clauses are joined, how tenses shift, how prepositions work, how articles are used. You see mistakes avoided, not just highlighted.
I remember when I first read Charlotte's Web in English. For the first time, I saw sentences like, Wilbur was sometimes considered somewhat unusual. That structure was sometimes considered somewhat unusual, felt complex, but I saw how sometimes considered somewhat work together.
Later, when writing or speaking, you find yourself constructing similar patterns unconsciously. That's grammar absorbed, not studied by rote.
Here's something important. Reading isn't just input. It influences your output, your writing and speaking.
If your reading diet is shallow, text messages, tweets, simple articles, you won't get the depth you need to express nuance or complexity. But books push you a bit further.
As you read, your brain collects possible ways to say things. When you write or speak, you draw from that internal library. You might say, I was puzzled by his behavior or the evidence mounted, simply because you saw those phrases in books.
Also, reading helps your fluency. Fluent speakers often don't think of each word, they flow. The more you read, the more your mind practices flowing in English.
And your writing becomes richer. You start using descriptive language, linking ideas more clearly, varying sentence structure. That's what makes good writing feel alive.
Now, this is critical. Reading books is only useful if they are appropriate for your level and interesting to you.
If you pick something too hard, you'll get frustrated. If it's too easy, you won't grow. You want a sweet spot, a bit challenging, but still understandable.
Look for graded readers or simplified editions designed for learners. These give you a bridge to real novels. Later, you can graduate to original text.
Also, consider the genre. If you like mystery, science fiction, romance, biography, choose what you enjoy. When you enjoy reading, you do more of it.
Short stories can be great too, one story per sitting. Poetry can help with rhythm, imagery, vocabulary, even children's literature. Some of it is beautifully written and captures deep ideas with simple language.
If you feel adventurous, try bilingual editions. English on one page, your native language on the other. Use them as scaffolding, then lean toward more English only as you improve.
Let's break it down. How do you read so that your time yields maximum learning?
First, don't stop for every unknown word. That kills flow. Let the sentence give you clues.
If a word is really essential to meaning and you can't guess it, then check it. But hold off on obscure words. Focus on words that have potential, ones you see repeatedly.
Second, read actively. Ask questions. What's happening here? Why did that character act that way? What is the feeling tone? This keeps you engaged, not passive.
Third, pause occasionally and summarize what you've read, in your head or out loud. That reinforces comprehension.
Fourth, highlight or underline interesting phrases and put short notes in the margin. Good phrase or I like this metaphor. Later, revisit those.
Fifth, read aloud sometimes. It sounds odd, but reading aloud helps connect your eyes, mouth, and brain. You improve pronunciation, rhythm, and memory.
Sixth, follow up after each reading session. Review your notes, reread a tricky paragraph, review phrases you underlined.
Many learners ask, how much should I read? What's the right schedule?
The best answer is consistent habit over big volume. 15 minutes a day beats 2 hours once a week.
Yes, if you make it daily, even short daily reading time, you build momentum. Your brain gets constant input.
If you miss a day, it's okay, but don't let gaps stretch. Try to read even when tired, perhaps something lighter.
Also, mix your reading types. One day a short story, another day a nonfiction article in book form, another day a novel chapter.
Track your progress. Use a reading journal. Note what you read, what phrases you liked, what surprised you.
Reading the book is the beginning. What you do after seals the learning.
First, review. Go back to the phrases you marked, the vocabulary you underlined. Try to recall them, use them.
Second, write a summary or review in English. It doesn't have to be perfect, just express what you understood, what you liked, what surprised you.
Third, talk about the book. Discuss with a friend, online group, or even speak to yourself. Explain the plot, your favorite part, a phrase you remember.
Fourth, try to use new vocabulary or phrases in your own writing or speaking. Don't just let them sit in your notebook.
Fifth, reread interesting chapters after a few weeks. You'll often catch new things on the second pass.
Reading in English isn't always smooth. There are obstacles. Let's talk about how to overcome them.
One problem, feeling discouraged when you don't understand everything. That's natural. Remind yourself the goal is improvement, not perfection.
Another, giving up too soon. You pick a book that's too hard and stop after a few pages. Instead, pick something slightly easier and build confidence.
Also, distractions. Our phones, social media, they always want attention. Try to set a quiet time and space for reading.
You may get bored. That's a hint. Change the genre, pick a shorter book, or find something more exciting. Reading should refresh you, not drain you.
Sometimes you'll hit a vocabulary wall. When that happens, skip ahead, deduce, and return later. You'll often understand more than you expected.
Finally, laziness. Don't make reading a chore. Keep it fun, varied, rewarding.
We want to share stories, real examples, because they show what's possible.
One student, Mariana, started reading The Little Prince in English. She read slowly, a chapter a day, highlighted phrases, reread, and after a few months, she noticed she was thinking in English more often. Another, John, loved crime stories. He picked adapted versions of detective novels. Within 6 months, his listening, speaking, and vocabulary improved significantly. He said reading built his confidence more than any grammar class.
Then there's Chloe. She read a novel in English, then watched the movie. She compared phrases, saw how lines were translated, noticed vocabulary differences. That double exposure made many words stick.
These are people like you. They didn't start fluent. They read, bit by bit, and built up their English. You can too.
Let's also talk about common mistakes so you don't waste effort.
Mistake number 1, reading without comprehension. You read pages but don't understand meaning. That's passive reading. Always check that you understand the gist.
Mistake number 2, over-relying on translation. If you always translate into your language, you slow down English thinking.
Mistake number 3, reading only easy stuff. Comfort zone is safe but doesn't stretch you. Occasionally challenge yourself.
Mistake number 4, never revisiting what you learned. You highlight and forget. Repetition is key.
Mistake number 5, reading without purpose. If you just casually flip pages without strategy, it's just leisure, not learning.
Let me propose a sample plan you can follow. You can adjust to your schedule, but this gives you structure.
Week 1 to 2. Pick a graded reader or a simple novel, 100 to 150 pages. Read 10 minutes per day. Note unfamiliar words, but prioritize understanding context.
Week 3 to 4, increase reading to 15 to 20 minutes. Begin reading 2 short stories or a novel with multiple short chapters. Review your notes weekly.
Weeks 5 to 8. Try a longer book, 200 pages. Read 20 to 30 minutes daily, or at least 1 chapter a day. Reread favorite passages, write short summaries.
After finishing, write a review. Talk about it, try to use new phrases. Then pick your next book, something slightly harder.
Rotate genres. Challenge yourself gradually. Keep adding variety.
How do you know you're improving? Sometimes it feels slow.
Measure in small wins. Maybe you recognize more words without dictionary, understand a paragraph faster, or recall a phrase without thinking.
Try retelling a story in English in your own words. Compare how you would say it now versus a few months ago.
Record yourself reading a passage at different times. You'll hear improvement in pronunciation, pace, confidence.
Set small goals. Finish a book in 2 weeks. Reread a chapter. Learn 5 new phrases and celebrate those achievements.
Let me leave you with this. Reading is a long game. It doesn't give instant rewards like quizzes or tests, but its rewards are deep, lasting, and subtle. Over months and years, Reading reshapes how you think in English.
Don't rush it. Enjoy the journey. Be patient with yourself. Some days reading will feel slow or frustrating. That's okay. Push through.
Consistency is more powerful than intensity. 15 minutes daily over months will change your English more than cramming in long sessions occasionally.
Make reading part of your identity as a learner. Think of yourself as someone who reads, and gradually you become that person.
If you want, we can send you a 30-book reading list with levels and genres. Let us know in the comments.
Also, share in the comments what's one book you plan to read in English? Or what's your favorite English book so far?
If you liked this video, hit like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss the next one.
Thanks for being with us. Keep reading, keep growing, and we'll see you next time on English Learning Key.